the 13th episode of With Misfits. I am your host, Kelly, and today I have with me a guest. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Alloysius Lennon Colasso. I'm 21 years old, and I think that's about it.
Yeah. So Alloysius is here today to talk about his experience with a psychologist and going to a psychologist. So you've been to a psychologist before?
Yes.
For therapy?
Yes.
So how was it? Okay, before we dive into how it was, why did you go to a psychologist? You don't have to tell us the whole story.
Yeah, okay. So, I used to...
Maybe just the signs. Don't tell us everything.
No, I used to go to this coach called Joy. And I had this background about mental health.
Okay.
I did a small course. I don't know much about it, but...
Okay.
So, after a few months of my incident, few weeks rather, we were up on this terrace with my friends, and I looked down and I wanted to
jump.
You get the thing.
It's fine. Yeah.
And so then I decided I had to get help.
Okay, so because you knew that what you wanted to do or what you thought
Of doing was wrong
Yes.
or not for you,
Yes.
and that's when you decided to get help.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you go about finding the right psychologist for yourself?
Well, I asked my aunt, who's a psychologist,
Okay.
and she recommended that I go to Silver Lining
Okay.
because she said they're pretty good.
Okay. So, so your aunt, who's a psychologist, why didn't you go to her?
She said that a psychologist can't be
Yeah.
personally intact.
No one.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense because we don't really.
Get
We're not allowed to therapize people we know, basically.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And so Kelly didn't take me as a patient,
Yeah. As a client.
which
Client.
both
Client.
client.
Okay. So, now that you've gone to this clinic, how was the experience there? What were your thoughts, in your first session and everything?
I didn't know what to expect when I went there, but it was all white.
Okay. That's all right.
It was all white. There's a big room and a receptionist and one round table with 4 chairs.
That's accurate. Yes.
And then I went to her and I said, I'm coming for an appointment. And she hands me out a paper, which I fill in. I don't remember all that was in the paper.
That's okay.
And then there's 3 white doors. And through one of them,
No, I don't think it's all white.
I think they're all white.
Okay. Maybe.
Yeah, they're all white.
Okay.
Through one of the doors, the
The therapist.
therapist walks out.
Okay.
And she's like, hi, nice to meet you. And she's very approachable.
Okay. Okay, what were your stereotypes before going in? You said you didn't know what to expect, but you must have some kind of stereotypes as to what it's going to be like.
I expected an old lady.
Even though you know me,
Yeah.
you expected an old lady. Okay. What else?
I didn't expect all white. I expected little color and maybe some books around. There were no books.
Okay.
Those bookshelves. I had this.
Yeah. Like a library in one place and you sit
behind
and you
them,
read.
and there's
Yeah.
a couch.
Yeah.
And then
There's a couch. You had that stereotype.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could just go and
Lie down.
chill in the beanbag and talk to my therapist.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
I know.
Okay, then what happened?
Then I sat in a chair. And then she asked me to tell her what's up.
Okay.
Not bluntly, she went very gently with it. But I was very open, so I told her directly. On the first day itself, I told her I think almost everything.
You were that comfortable with her.
Yeah. I knew I had to tell her, right? I'm paying you 800 a session.
But there was no, you didn't have to get comfortable with her, no rapport building, nothing. You just told her.
I mean, she's no one. Who's she going to tell? She doesn't know me, right?
Yeah, but, okay. These are rare circumstances, by the way.
I just want to get it out of my system. Then I told her. And then she reasoned out with me. She was pretty she wasn't, it's all her fault and no.
Obviously, because she doesn't know you, she doesn't know her.
Yeah.
I mean, the other person.
So then, I think it was pretty chill.
Okay, and then she must have, like, did this session go on for a long time? Did these sessions go on for a
1
long
hour for once a week.
And how many weeks did you go for?
7 weeks.
Okay, and then how did you stop going?
I did exactly what she told me not to do.
Oh, okay, so you didn't follow direction.
Yeah. She didn't tell me to do it. She just
do not.
I told her I'd do it, and then
Maybe it's not right for you to do this. Try something else.
and then I just kept doing it and going back to her and telling her the same thing.
Yeah, these are the type of clients that take long times to, work things out.
Mm-hmm.
Because we tell you don't drink, but then you go drink. But that's... Say it louder! Say it louder!
That's exactly what happened.
Alright, so after 7 weeks, you stopped going, or she told you
No, she didn't tell me.
you just stopped?
Yeah, she followed up for 2 weeks.
Okay.
3 weeks. It's like, are you coming? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And then she just stopped following up.
Okay, so
Because I think she felt that I wasn't ready to come.
yeah.
And I wasn't ready to go.
Okay. So you felt that even though you blurted everything out in the first session, you still felt you weren't ready to go.
I wasn't ready to go because...
See, I'm therapizing you right now.
Wow.
This wasn't meant to turn into
A therapy session.
therapy session, but that was very interesting. I just found out something very interesting that led into a therapy session.
Huh. Moving on.
No, say.
What is the question?
The question was, even though you blurted things out in the first go because you thought you're going to do it again this later on, why did you feel that you were not ready to go back?
I felt it was a repetition.
What she was telling you to do,
Yeah.
but
she was telling me to do because I kept doing the same thing again.
exactly. So because you were
That
doing
I find it in myself to stop doing what I was doing.
yeah. So did you?
It took me a while after that.
Okay.
And then I did.
I'm going to stop therapizing you now and go back to what I actually want to ask. Okay. So the middle part, why was it so difficult for you to not follow, the things that she was telling you should do? Was it because of what it was? Like, was it like the most smallest things, like write a diary or follow a timetable? Or was it just...
I wrote the diary. But it was the main problem
Okay.
that I could not avoid.
Okay. And I know the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So overall, how was your experience with a psychologist? You have to think.
Oh yeah. I'm speaking to a psychologist.
You don't have to. I'm not the same as other psychologists. So
Oh yeah.
whatever you say, like no psychologist is the same, and it's not going to offend any psychologist.
Okay.
Because you need to see, even though you went to this one psychologist doesn't mean you will always keep going to her. You could go to another one. You can't find the right psychologist with one psychologist. So no one's going to take offense. And they're probably not going to be listening to this either. It's the truth.
What if it goes viral, huh?
Because you're in it.
Of course. Shakes head. ... Oh wait, you can see it, right?
Okay.
Okay. It was pretty peaceful when I was there for the 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty nice.
Mm.
Like, all of it was focused on me.
Okay. You like the attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
It took me a while to admit to that, but I did.
Mhm.
I did. And it was easier to reason out
Okay.
when everything was in front of you.
Mm.
And then she just turned and showed me her notes. This, last week. Same thing.
Yeah. Those are drastic measures. The fact that she did that means she was frustrated.
think that was the 6th week.
She was pretty frustrated.
So it's like, doing it again.
Yeah,
Again.
I know that I have a client as well, or I had a client who did the same thing. I could tell her to say, walk away from the well. She would just walk back to the well. It just kept happening over and over again. I'm just like, I'm either going to break that well now or just do something. Okay. So, but would you, like, did it help you? Did going to a psychologist help you?
A lot.
Why? How?
Because it was this, I mean, the right thing or the wrong thing, and I was so into doing the wrong thing till I stopped going to the psychologist.
So once you stopped, you started doing the right thing.
Yes, because
It's interesting.
it was because that I couldn't go back to the psychologist
Saying that I'm doing the wrong
this
thing.
thing continuously. You know? So then I had to stop.
Right. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's good sense of self, I guess. Or embarrassment.
Embarrassment. It wasn't only the psychologist, but pretty much everyone around me.
Me included. Okay. So overall, the experience with the psychologist was good.
Yes.
And
Would recommend 10 out of 10.
so what would you like to say to
Must try.
What would you like to say to people who are actually going through stuff and don't have, anyone to tell? Because no one told you that you should go to a psychologist. That came to you on your own. No one mentioned it. So what would you do to someone who, doesn't think it on your own, but also doesn't have someone to tell?
Tell a person who doesn't have friends.
No, it's not about friends. See, you have friends, but all your friends didn't tell you go to a psychologist.
Yeah.
You came up with that on your own.
Yes.
So there are people who have friends, but still their friends don't tell them go to a psychologist, and they can't come up with a thing on their own. So how do they know that they should go to a psychologist?
You're a very hard person. You only ask the psychologist. How does it happen?
It's not that it does happen. It just, you reach a point where you need to kind of have that sense of, okay, I'm doing this and I shouldn't be doing this, and this is that extreme I've reached. Because for you it was to face the fact that you want to jump. That was the extreme that you reached. You reached a point where there's no turning back. You either jump or get help. So many people have that extreme point where they realize they're drinking too much, they're getting into bad company, they're doing drugs or women, or they're just doing things that they're not supposed to be doing, and that's that point for them. So they need to realize that they've reached that point, and now they either keep doing what they're doing and ruin their life, or get help.
I was about to say the same thing.
Why did you say it then? I said it better.
No.
No.
Just giving you a good chance.
Okay. I see. Very nice. Alright, so do you have anything else to say about, your experience with the psychologist? Or just your experience about mental health and dealing with it, and your experience with everything?
One line. It takes time.
Thank you.
It doesn't happen in one session.
Yeah.
You can't go to a psychologist on one day. Nothing happened. I feel the same. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, and especially when you do the same thing over and over and again, and you're not listening to the psychologist, then you're being a very, very bad client. But we understand.
Damn, I wonder how these psychologists do such that.
Because we understand. We know that some clients aren't ready to deal with all the bullshit, and then we just be like, cool. Come back the next week doing the same thing. We'll talk about the same thing. And then you can go.
Get fed up with it, and then we stop.
Yeah, and then you will get fed up with it and stop yourself.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Some people though just carry on doing things the same way, and it doesn't work the way it worked for you. You're pretty lucky for things. So why do you think you're lucky? I mean, like why?
Circle around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that made a
Big difference.
big difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You reached a point where we have nothing to talk about. Okay, so any other last words of advice?
What's the advice? If you need help, get help.
Yes. All right. With that, my misfits, if you need help, get help. And we have Alloysius, Lennon Colasso here. Thank you for coming and talking, and follow him on Instagram. And follow us on Instagram as well.
Yes, Olive Counseling.
Yes.
Olive
Yes.
Counseling. My bad.
And on YouTube as well. And listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iTunes. Bye.
Especially because I'm on it. Bye.